In this video, we're going to be looking at work and energy. We're going to define work. We're then going to look at a couple of different types of energy, including kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, and elastic potential energy. We'll then talk about the law of conservation of energy. So movement of an object and motion that we've been looking at throughout this topic involves energy. And energy is the ability to do work. And work happens when an object is moved by a force. So when an object is moved, it involves work, and energy allows us to do that work. We can put this in the formula: work equals force times displacement, so the distance that the object has moved. Okay, we'll now look at some types of energy. So kinetic energy is the energy that an object has when it's moving. And the heavier the object and the faster it's moving, the more kinetic energy that object is going to have. So kinetic energy equals half mass times velocity squared. So something that is heavier will have more kinetic energy. Something that is moving faster, with higher velocity, will also have more kinetic energy. Potential energy is any energy that is stored. So gravitational potential energy, it's stored by lifting that object above the Earth. And the higher that object is, the more gravitational potential energy it's going to have. And the heavier, the more gravitational potential energy it's going to have as well. And we can put this into a formula: gravitational potential energy equals mass times gravity times height. So if you lift something up higher, it has more potential energy. And if it's heavier, it'll have more gravitational potential energy. Elastic potential energy is what occurs when you stretch a spring or an elastic band, or you squeeze a spring. So when compressed or stretched, they have the potential, so again potential energy, stored energy, to release this energy. And the formula for elastic potential energy is half k times x squared, where x is the amount of extension and k is the spring constant. So depending on how tough the spring is or how stiff it is, will be how high the k is, and how far you stretch it is the extension. So law of conservation of energy. Now energy cannot be created nor destroyed, so we can't just magic energy out of nowhere, and we can't get rid of it. We can lose it to our surroundings, so it stops being useful energy. But the only way that we can use energy is from converting it from one form of energy to another form of energy. Okay, we've looked at work being what happens when you move something or move an object a distance. We've looked at kinetic energy, the energy that an object has if it is moving. We've looked at gravitational potential energy, the energy that you give something by lifting it up, being related to how high you lift it, as well as the mass. We've looked at elastic potential energy, being the energy or the potential stored energy that a spring or elastic band have when you stretch them, being related to how stiff, or the elastic constant, as well as how far you've stretched it. And we've looked at the conservation of energy, which states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only changed from one form to another.